And it's just 4 to 6.
Whoop, whoop, what's up, guys? It's Hump Day. You know what that means. It's the HMG Dynamite Watch Along and Belt Count. How y'all doing? We're here, we're hanging, we're chilling. We got RBV in the house. Dude, no joke. You literally popped in as the intro was like loading to play.
I saw out of flash. You said it, buddy. Hump Day, Wednesday. You know what that means. RBV eats out. I've got a can of frosting to enjoy here while we're watching little Dynamite here this evening. Lab Right in Lab Rat. And he is right. He is Lab Right. He is Lab Rat. He is Lab Ready. We got it going on here, gentlemen. I saw the intro here for Diamond, but then they kicked it back. I guess they needed that ratings rager to spike it at the top of the hour. I got Shelton and Amy. All right, here we go. Here we go to Dynamite. Yeah. Or Sheldon. I'm sorry, man. I'm way off. I got to get me some my sugar rush is going here.
You see all the AEW stands going nuts over the rating that Collision got because they had that massive playoff lead in that gave it that boost.
Hey, you know what? I want to give them credit. Yeah, was it you or Jimmy I was talking to? And I did. I said, you know what? This is the first time you've seen AEW, and I wish that they would do a lot more because there's so much potential. But kudos to them. We'll give them a little Henry clap up there. They need that, and I like how they're theming it with those different playoffs. You know, they give it a little more pizzazz. You know, and people seem to be sticking around a little bit with it.
Yeah, that is a smart move. I'll give them that. I'll agree with you on that.
And one, the other things I would do there with that is they do have familiar faces. People that your general audiences are going to recognize. So utilize that. And I know most people inside the bubble, especially the AEW faithful. I mean, they're going to hate that I'm going to say this. They'll argue it till they pass out. But that familiarity. And then you partner those people up with somebody new. I mean, it's a philosophy as old as wrestling itself. I mean, going back to Paul Heyman. That was one of his strategies. He relied on the early days when he had ECW, even back when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling or East Coast Wrestling, whatever the hell it was, Eastern Championship. But he relied on Jimmy Snuka in that mid card to be the draw that people were familiar with. They came in for the Superfly, but they stayed for everybody else.
Yep, and also you had Terry Funk there. It was like, I'll make this guy. I'll put this guy over. I'll help make this dude.
And then Funk came in, and Funk just took everything to that next level, and they really contributed to him as the Godfather, the one that just elevated everybody there.
Yeah, and he was so unselfish. Like, yeah, I'll do the job. I'll put this guy over. I'll make him look good.
Yeah, it was somebody giving back. Right, so we got a nice little opener here. For those that are in the bubble are going to like this one here. Should be a good, fast-paced, exciting match. I did see some fans there here with the Travis Knight. They're kind of like, okay, why should we be excited for this young guy? It just seems that they've just strapped a rocket up his ass.
I've seen. Well, me personally, I can say I've seen Kevin Knight in TNA, and I really liked what I saw there.
Well, I think it's another thing though that AEW, their flaws where they can improve, where they should, is they need to familiarize a general audience more with the individuals that are coming in. Vignettes are always a powerful tool in professional wrestling. What we got here, big 8-man opening this thing?
Yep, and we're at 1 belt, and we got Paul, a.k.a. Shooter, bang, bang. What's up, pal? He's there with 12. We got Lab Rat with 9.
All right, so
I'm gonna go 11.
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. What last week we had that last-minute surprise with Monet that just shook everything. She had 5 of them, 4 or 5 of them?
Yep. Yeah, we were like,
we had 9. We had 9, and we went to 13, right?
It's like, well, nobody wins this one.
So let's see. How many does she have? 4 or 5?
4.
So it's 4. We got 5 already. I'm going to say
Yeah, we're at 1 so far, I think. Yeah, we're at 1 right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 10.
10? All right. Yeah, and then we had 4 unexpected ones pop up at Rebellion because Mike Santana came to the ring with 2 boxers and each had 2 of their belts with them. So like, well, shit, got to count it.
All right, so you've got, well, obviously Briscoe, a favorite with the cult wrestling aholics there. We got the 2 newcomers here that have been picking up some fans in Night Speedball, but to bring, to partner them with Omega, a good little catch here to open. Let's see what Ricochet's team's going to be bringing with him here. How about the other big news of today? Eric Bischoff wanting to be everything the opposite of AEW. Well, they're going freestyle wrestling. Did you see that?
I did. I was just kind of, that was weird. I'm like, wait, they're going to like legit freestyle, like amateur wrestling? Wow.
Here's the problem with that. And I know there was some excitement over the national championships. They get that attention every year. There is a reason for decades and decades and decades it's never caught on as a mainstream sport. The scoring in it is a little difficult. It's not something you just tune into and pick up very easily. It doesn't have the characters and the storytelling of professional wrestling. Doesn't have that availability, and it doesn't have the over-the-top violence of an MMA that we get with the UFC. So it's just this bland basics right there in the middle. And I think they're really going to struggle with. It's going to be interesting to see their business plan, their presentation, maybe who they're partnering up with, what the actual business plan is. We're going to get some more of that coming out here in the upcoming weeks. But I tell you what, just the basic announcement, I don't see how it's all that to be excited about. Who was just asking over there about the third man? Because I got his name right here. I saw someone in the chat.
Lab Rat. That's 2 belts.
All right, Lab Rat was asking here. So let's see here. Let's see here. We partner up on X to reveal the third man is Izzy Martinez, a freestyle wrestling coach known for working with several UFC fighters, including John Jones, Holly Holm, who Martinez inertly coached in her big victory over Ronda Rousey. They're saying this was inspired by Hulk Hogan while he was watching Wyatt Henderson defeat Minnesota standout and former WWE star Gable Stevenson to win the NCAA National Championship in March. Yeah, so it'll be interesting here in a couple months that Hogan's going to tell us that he invented amateur wrestling, that he said, what's going to put these guys over is polo helmets and leotards.
Yeah, brother.
Looks like Bishop's going to be working on the promotion side of things, advertising. And also with Bischoff's vast background working with the networks, he's got his contacts there in Hollywood. So, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But I think on the surface, I don't know if this is going to catch on.
And here's me listening to Ben too much. What if they're just trying to build something from the ground up to basically like, okay, we have all this promotion, this names, this money behind it. Try to get like all the like best freestyle wrestlers, bring them all under one umbrella, sell it to TKO.
Again, I don't know what the value of that property is.
I don't either. Again, it's one of those things where like, okay, we want all the wrestling. Okay, now we got the freestyle amateur covered. As small a niche as that is.
If there was such a need for that, even when the Olympics roll around, the wrestling is nowhere near what you see at the top of the promotion, what people are interested in when it comes like against the swimming, the gymnastics, obviously the basketball, because it's just mainstream anyway. But, all those specialty sports that when the Olympics roll around, that rise up every 4 years and everybody gets super invested in, wrestling's not one of those. Here we go. Apartment Wrestling Fed. They'd have to get they would have to bring in right here Kenny Omega and his Japanese women, where they have cornered that market over in the Far East. Here we go. Got the Bucks on the other side. Looks like a good crowd there. Do you happen to know where they're at tonight?
That's a good question. Let me check.
Nice little for the chat there. What's everybody's snack on during some wrestling? As I said, I got me a can of frosting. Nice and healthy hump day snack.
Sharkway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia.
The what is it?
Chatway. I mean, Chatway.
What the? I thought you said Shark Boy.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. Chartway. I apologize.
Chartway. I totally misheard you, man. I thought you said Shark Boy. Like, yeah, shell, yeah, baby, let's go.
Dude, that was some great shit back in the day. Did you ever see the stuff with Shark Boy and New Jack?
Yes. Yeah, hilarious stuff. I actually have a Shark Boy story.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Oh, Shark's just right up the road from me here, so I've known him just like going back to like the mid 2000s. And back then, he used to run promotion he ran here locally. He actually had the Shark Tank. A lot of great locals. If you guys have seen out there, the veteran Jack Vaughn, who's known for his viral videos where he's picking on the indie wrestlers and all that. That was one of Shark's first students at the Shark Tank training school. Vaughn also trained here with Roger Ruppin and that as well at NWF. But yeah, so Shark had a promotion called, he had the Shark Tank, obviously, and then he started out of that with his students, Buckeye Pro Wrestling, BPW. And they used to run these shows. It was one of my favorite little cities to go watch wrestling in because it was so epic. But it was a little town. Man, you could throw a rock from one end to the other. But it was called Blue Ball, Ohio. These people, they leaned into it. So, like, they had it on their signs. Like, there was Blue Ball Bakery, Blue Ball Car Wash, Blue Ball Police. Like, they put it on everything. Like, they knew what they were doing. It was freaking hilarious. So he used to run his shows at like the Blue Ball nightclub or something like that. So he would run shows there on the Sundays afternoon. I think he managed there as well, so he had the end. But that's when he was starting to travel a little bit more when he was going, he did a tour in India. That's when the precursor to TNA what was the one they did down in Australia?
WA?
Yes. No. It was like it was an Australian guy started it, but Jeremy Boris was down there working. Jarrett went and worked a bunch of this. It was before TNA started.
Yeah, I think it was that World Wrestling All-Stars, Andrew McManus.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. That's who it was. So he had Buckeye Pro here, and I was actually in the works to buy that from him.
Really?
Yeah, that's was going to be my first attempt. Now, thank God I didn't, because I didn't know anything about anything, didn't really know anybody. Just an absolute mark. I found some other guys that were going to throw in some money for it. Thank God it fell through. We didn't do it because I would have fell straight on my ass. It would have been a huge rib on me. Would have got my ass worked. But Shark's always been cool to me, man. I remember he's going out. He was a Yag drinker too. So I'd swing by after he'd do classes at the Shark Tank. I'd sit in, learn a little bit, watch what was going on, and me and him would head over to a local bar and just talk shop. And then when I actually, started working with the PWA and handling that talent, he come in and did some spots with us.
Had two uncles trying to help their little nephews in the match.
All right, now here we go. Here's what we expected. All hell to break loose. Maybe it took a little longer than expected here, but all 8 men going crazy in the opener here at Dynamite. Little do-si-do. Here we go. Uh-oh, we got the Cobra standoff. Karate Kid action. Looks like a good house here from the angles we're getting.
Yeah, so the upper deck's a little dark, but definitely looks like the people up there.
I remember the last time we had Shark get on a show. I mean, it was kind of funny. So I'm in a like creative meeting with the money guys and another partner, and we had to make some last minute like major quick decisions because we were missing some people. And Carson Drake, NWA TV champ, he's like, Vic. He said, well, you're needed over here right away. And I'm like, hold on. He's like, no, he's like, your special guest is here. And I didn't register. And I just look over and I knew I knew him without his mask, but it was Shark, but I didn't register because he was there without his mask on, just showing up for the show. I was like, tell that dude in a minute. I'll be there in a minute. And as soon as I said it, I was like, fuck, I just told our guest of honor, I told Shark Boy, who's way up here in this business, I'm down here. I'm like, no selling him. Oh, he knew it too, man. He was working me too, man.
That's a good rib.
Oh man, I felt so bad. I was like, holy shit, because I'm like in this heated conversation.
Right, you're
over.
Yeah, you're in the moment. You're not really thinking. You're just kind of like, just a minute.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Right. Well, no, it was a festival show, so we had a good crowd, and some of our younger local guys got an awesome opportunity to share the ring and some good photo ops.
I would recommend this toothpaste
with Shark.
to everybody. It's really an amazing product. When you spend less with Straight Talk and get a free 5G phone with real unlimited data, you can get more.
It's like that badge of honor for a lot of those guys to go out there and eat a chummer,
On us, America's most reliable 5G network. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. It takes a rebel to make something beautiful.
When you were working, did you get to eat any of them finishers from any of the well-knowns or anything?
Ooh, what was it?
Floor and Decor.
No, I did not get a chance to work any of the names, unfortunately. Actually, no, I take that back. I did get to work Colin Delaney.
There we go. Pretty cool.
Best match I was in, or best singles match I was in.
Oh, you got a one-on-one, and that's even better.
Yeah, but I ended up puking in that early on in that match too, because my ring cardio was always terrible. Like there'd be times where maybe like a minute or two into the match, I'd roll out, roll my head under the ring, puke, and then I was good the rest of the match.
Just start using it as your gimmick, man. Go like old draws, old puke. Dark side.
Yo, what's up, pal? Yeet, yeet. Yeah, once I finally got my breathing down, it was actually a lot better after that. I don't think I started smoking weed like an hour or so before the match. I wouldn't do like a whole lot, like maybe like a one hitter. And for some reason I did better. So I was more relaxed and I could think and concentrate more.
Let's see what else we got on the news. But yeah, that big announcement. I don't, everyone was speculating something to do with a podcast and all that. And maybe, I heard some people talking a wrestling promotion, but I don't think anyone was guessing freestyle wrestling.
No, I don't think. Yeah, that's what was shocking about it. Like there was, freestyle wrestling. Wait, what?
Let's see these headlines. The sheets anymore are pretty much every story is just someone recapping a podcast anymore. Like nobody's doing any digging or anything like that. It's just.
Yeah, they'll say
so on Busted Open.
Yeah, and then they'll quote it and give their opinion on it, and then that's it. That's journalism these days.
I know I saw some other stuff earlier, but Well, you know, we were talking about good on AEW playing into, you know, capitalizing there on the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, which they share the networks with. I wish they would go a little bit further. I love that they're doing the tie-ins, having the shows after getting those audiences that they're going to hang on. Hopefully they're able to appeal and keep those people hooked. We talked about the strategies of giving them familiar faces with the new faces. But it'd be nice to see if they had a presence during the games as well. You know, like going to the NFL draft. I mean, what an amazing spectacle that was. And who'd you see there? We saw Tony Khan, in a war room, but you saw WWE superstars out on stage presenting and things like that.
And last year we had Tony Khan with the neck brace selling the Attack from the Young Bucks.
But it blew up in their face, though, because all that did was you just got ridiculed, made fun of across the board for it. Which you almost wonder if it was like WWE, like, hey, hold it, you know, let's hold our beer. We're going to show you how to do this. Because McAfee went and worked the draft, you know, right after getting demolished the show just before it, you know, and he didn't go out there and make an ass of himself. Right, going back talking about the Bischoff Hogan thing in the back of his mind, saying it could have been Vince. Hey, I was joking, just not the other Vince. I was saying, is it Russo? You know, thinking it was going to be some kind of podcast or whatever the thing was going on.
Now that would have lived up to Bischoff's promise of breaking the internet.
Labrat talking about saw a rumor that WWE wants to do a Mania at the Jags Stadium. I don't necessarily. I think maybe how you read that might have been wrong, Labrat. My understanding is that ties into the city of Miami's deal, where they had put up, it was some ridiculous amount, like $40 million for their sports incentives to bring major events in, which would include a WrestleMania, some other WWE events, some major UFC as well. But it all inside of that includes infrastructure, which means upgrades to different facilities. And it's closer to Miami, where the Jaguars are using as a part-time stadium while theirs is getting renovated or built or something like that. So it wouldn't actually be that same stadium. And outside of that, I don't know the exact details, what the lease, the working agreement is between the Jaguars and the Khan family and the county, city, state, whoever actually owns where that property is at. They might not have, the Khan family might not have any say in those outside events that actually come into that facility. I know right here in Cincinnati just went through a huge back and forth between the Brown family and the county, Hamilton County, where Cincinnati sits, about reworking their deal, which could have allowed the Bengals to leave Cincinnati at the end of next season in 2026. Luckily, they worked something out there, but inside of, I believe in the Hamilton County deal with Cincinnati, the county can approve other events. That's why we had Taylor Swift there for 3 days, which was a huge economic boom for our area. So that could be something if there is something that Jacksonville wants. But my understanding, I think what you heard in recent talks for Florida and a WrestleMania, it's going to be in the stadium that the Jaguars are using, while theirs is either, I don't know, they're getting a new one or renovations or something like that.
It was awarded the best light beer in America. Sam Adams American Light, America's most premium light beer.
Meat noodles. She's part short hair and part ninja.
Yeah, the only time I saw Tony on the direct, because I watched most of it. But they didn't go to the war room so much, but it was right after the Jaguars traded up to that too, which surprised a lot of people. And they were all in there geeking out. Tony's in there. Of course, Tony was hugging everybody. He hugged everybody in the room. Hey, but a big move for Jacksonville as they're trying to change the atmosphere, the the character of that program down there for the Jaguars. But to not see how, if Tony's there and they're allowing people to come up to help out with, their super fans or just feel good stories or cross promotion, maybe there was something blocking that. Maybe he couldn't get it done, but you would think it's his team wheel and deal in there to try to get some of his wrestlers presenting, with the 17th, with the 171st pick in the 2025 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select, and you have a Kenny Omega up there, or better yet, you send one of your lookers up there. I know there's some issues right now with Mariah May, but you guys know what I'm talking about up there. That TK is hologram. That would be a good one, man. He has been psyching us all out there. Guy can actually go out there and fly.
Having a fine for a year would be amazing.
What's up, Ty? Good to see you, pal. Whoop, whoop. Mr. No Monikers needed in the house. Yeet.
Yeah, another good play I was thinking about for AEW. We got the news this week. Oh, really? Was it just yesterday or it was in the last couple of days that WWE announced their elite packages for SummerSlam? Did you see that, man? $40,000 per ticket. And the ones that were available on the early release sold out.
That's insane.
That includes like a front and center seat right there on the floor for SummerSlam both nights. You get Raw and SmackDown, and you get the NXT show. Then there's some, there's other different meet and greets. One of the meet and greets, Kevin Nash and others, dinners, drinks, things like that. But
damn,
$1,000. Absolutely insane. I'm trying to make a goal. Kind of reward myself for, with all the good behavior I've been on and all that. But I was going to try to get up there to the New York, New Jersey area. What area do you live in, Brandon? Oh, you're in the Midwest. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I was going to try to get up to that New York, New Jersey area to meet up with like Big Ray, meet up with the Hustle guys, John Potts from the Two Man Power Trip. Colin's not too far away. Bello, Billy Ray, Ben's in upstate. MSG's not too far from there. But it's still something I'd like to do, but I sure as hell ain't going to go watch SummerSlam inside that stadium. The hell with that. Yeah, that whole Shadur Sanders thing, that's just your woke agenda people. I'm making a little bit of noise, but, most of anybody that knows anything about it is immediately shooting that down. Think about this, Dark Side. I mean, that is just your millennial leftist-leaning entitlement assholes out there. The NFL is $1 billion business with franchises that are worth multi-millions. So these kids coming out, and again, they are just kids. They are not owed anything. They're not entitled to anything. The NFL is not there to protect their brands or help their growth. They're worried about their business practices, their character of the league, their identity. And all the draft is, it's a job interview. These are employees. So if you're a jackass anywhere, you're not going to get hired. Any of us. Any of us. Me, you, Brandon, anybody over the Hamid Army in the chat. Like, we go to McDonald's and we go in there and say we're going to do shit our way. Guess what? We're not getting jobs. They don't owe us anything like that.
This match has gone on for damn near 30 minutes.
Yeah, this is one of those. Man, if this would have been a fun, great opener at 15 minutes. We're 15 minutes way too long here. Yeah, right. You better get a BJ with those prices, right? Well, no.
From Stephanie herself.
No, you're not getting a BJ. You're getting F'd in the A with those prices. Hey, but they do take you out to dinner. and get you a drink. So they are romancing you a little bit. You get to have Kevin Nash there for all that. But yeah, but if I'm AEW, I'm exploiting that. I'm putting that out there. This is what this company thinks of you.
Well, they are kind of sort of doing there, saying, hey, check out our especially, check out our prices or something like that. Saying like, hey, we're,
Dude,
10, 20 bucks.
It's great if they're doing that, but they need to go full scale on that. They need to get that out there everywhere. I would buy airtime in different markets, that they're going to, and let people know, hey, WWE, they're asking $40,000, blah, blah, blah for this. You can bring your entire family to see our show for X amount, and come up with your different family packages. That'd be kind of interesting. While we're doing this, I'm going to look that up. What's the next big stadium? Is it All In or All Out?
Double or nothing.
Where is that? The stadium show?
Oh, no, stadium's All In. That's the one in Texas.
Yeah, because I know. All right, let's look at that. Yeah, I know we got Double or Nothing coming up. That's like in 2 weeks, right?
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
End of May, mid-May, something like that.
Yeah, I know, Lab, they cannot. Yeah, they can't let any detractors or let anybody just not do that. That's a great point of attack. They can hit WWE at and hit them hard. Right, that'd be a great, great way to get them in the door. But once you get them in the door, you got to keep them in the door.
Right. I mean, you got the hook, but you got to keep them. Well, and there's a lot of things in there. I mean, there's nothing like going to, live. All right, so this one, you get floor seats or field seats. Seeing some sections for a couple $100 right around the ring. There's a $1,600 ringside. You get some nosebleeds for $48. There's a $32. But yeah, I mean, put together worthwhile packages. Put out there, hey, that you want to be, the promotion of the people. Because Billy Ray Valentine, over on the Wednesday locker room, hey, which is available. They're going to be. Oh, they do on Tuesday nights. They record live on Tuesdays. But they are available, again, late Tuesday nights, anywhere from 10 to 11, I believe, in there, right here on the Hami Media Group YouTube channel. You get Billy Ray Valentine, you get the Andrew Bella, and, of course, one of the best minds out there who's done it all, Strangler, Steve King. But BRV was saying he lives in New York, so just to take him and his kids to a WWE house show at Madison Square Garden is like $500. Hey, TNA, I haven't been the one in a while that they haven't been to these parts. It was actually 3 years ago. I had it pop up on my memories right around this time where I was working with then Impact, but TNA for their local promotion here in Cincinnati. Packed the house in Northern Kentucky. Sold out 3 nights over there. I had them on our number one local morning show. I had them all over our talk radio publication outlet. Did an interview with them. Very, very awesome. I got to work with Moose and Deanna on that. But to the point, their show was great. Loved it. Small atmosphere, awesome fans. You could, I mean, it really, it was almost like going out to a nice like a dive bar, like where even though you don't know them, you know everybody. It was such a great environment, great wrestling. And it looked like they had a hell of a crowd for Rebellion this past week.
Yeah, it was a sold out show.
All right, we're over 30 minutes on this opener here.
This is insane.
And when you get these multi-man matches, this is where they break down because you got everyone just laying on the floor waiting for their time to come in and get their spot, hit their spots. Hopefully Okada going to end this thing. That should do it on the Briscoe. Heels get the win. Eat that speedball, you dick.
You see all that crazy shit, and it's a clothesline that ends it.
Yeah, right. That's how badass that clothesline is. You don't fuck with the Rainmaker, bitch. Impact's been streaming some of their old Impact shows on Twitch. They've got their own channel over on Pluto. You can pick up a bunch of the old stuff, which is really cool. Constantly running.
Dude, those Asylum shows are pretty entertaining. And I thought
I like the Asylum. That was pretty cool.
I thought Dusty Rhodes cut one of his best promos there.
Oh, we hurt people. What the hell?
See, the marquee doesn't. The marquee says pro wrestling. It does not say her midget, her beating off in a trash can. 4 belts.
Yeah, we had 2. We're up to 4. So are these just extras that were dancing, or are they actually AEW wrestlers that they're beating up?
I have no idea. They could just be, I don't know, just some rando dudes who are like showed up who are marks for the Hurt Syndicates.
Okay, so they just snuck into the building and they're dancing around the back. Forgive me if they're all Elite Wrestling roster members, but they didn't look anything special to me. What are they saying? They're talking about Max?
Yep.
I am just not feeling this storyline between this.
But this is what this MJF can be beneficial to us. Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Yeah, I did see someone in one of the groups make my rounds and brought up, I guess, a little bit of interesting keep an eye on. Is that first round of future endeavors that we saw from WWE earlier this year? Those 90-day clauses should be coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it will be interesting to see if the Hurt Syndicate's been lobbying to get Cedric Alexander a job.
We shall see. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Do you think it's needed? The chat, Brandon, chat, what do you guys think? Is Alexander, would he be a nice fit there? Do they need him? Is it an overkill?
I wouldn't. I could be kind of a take it or leave it. Although it would be beneficial to have him there. That way you can take Bobby off the tag and we have him go off after the AEW World Title.
I could see that. It kind of lessens Shelton to me a little bit.
Emergency management. The professors were great because they've had several years experience in the
I like everything so far, how they're presented here, that it's equal footing. You know, I don't feel like there is, that crown jewel piece there.
Because you get so much more out of it than just a diploma. Learn about our more than 150.
All right, well, that'd be interesting if you put Hobbs in there.
Spectrum news from a new perspective.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see eventually. Maybe that's how you get there, start building that story. But I would love to see one day. How about that for a big-time main event? You want to sell out a stadium. Lashley versus Hobbs for the championship. Now, that's big time right there. That's a big-time name. That's a big-time look. That's real American freestyle wrestling quality right there.
As a person living with diabetes, I'm all about making progress.
Yeah, just have it be a shoot match. And all right, one of us goes over in the end.
Nah, I got to protect each other, work it right like some big men, man.
The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor. It's the little ones, baby. And you want half the cost of other CGs. What? That's a big win.
Try for free at Freestyle Libre 3 Plus.
Oh, well, Elite Wrestling.com.
Put your meat on my meat.
Let's see what they're advertising over there. Norfolk, Virginia, where my little nephew Noah was born. Celebrating 8 years old 2 days ago.
Life is hard, but saving money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive is easy. Deciding what's for dinner every night. for the rest of your life.
Style her with love. Shop the Mother's Day sale. Only at K.
All right, we're coming up. We still have look forward to. We got Hangman, Hang Person, Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher in the men's side of the Owen Hart Cup semifinal. Got that to look forward. We just got the Hurt Syndicate tease. They're going to be speaking a little bit more.
And we're guaranteed to get MJF later, so that's obviously going to advance.
We got Toni Storm as she threw out the challenge there where she was on that red carpet the other day. Mayu Yamashita going to answer that call tonight. And
7 belts.
Oh, damn. Speaking of Hobbs, there's all that gold. Up to 7 already and 40 minutes in.
Tonight, live on Dark Fight, that man in the center screen, Samoa Joe will challenge Tom Moxley for the AEW World Championship. Visit AEWTIX.com, and if you can't be there in person, you can see it live 2 weeks from
Uh-oh. I regularly come look at their job section. I've applied for a couple of things here. This one I would love to even just get a whiff of, but you gotta have
I appreciate the gumption, Tony, but yeah.
Oh, Rhett Titus. I have not seen him in a minute.
Oh, they moved it. I might apply for this job. AEW hired a director of corporate partnerships and media sales. They've had it up here for a while. It's an $85,000 to $125,000 a year. They wanted like a bachelor's degree with it, but they removed that from the qualifications.
I think you can do that.
I can nail the job, but they had that stupid that bachelor's thing on there, which is always a piece of shit when they put that on there. It's like, can you do the job or what? Do you need me to sit there and have some asshole in a college tell me how to do stuff, or do you want real world training? Are they actually wrestling people, or we just got well, we got Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds here. That is a big son of a bitch.
Largest member of the opposition, but Shibata the chest. Camarado absorbs it. Shibata does likewise. Thudding exchange in the center of the ring.
That big dude on the opposing team here, he reminds me of like a if the Berserker and Braun Strowman had a baby.
I totally see that.
Actually, speaking of John Nord, Paz just released an interview with him over on the 2-man power trip.
Yeah, I saw that. Huss.
Yeah, he had Nord on. Actually, Paz, if you haven't listened to it yet, or keep your ears open over on YouTube for the clips out there. He did a spot on Keeping It 100 yesterday with Conan and Disco.
Oh, nice.
They bring him in, Paz. I mean, he's a freaking encyclopedia, just a wealth of history. knows about everything about the business just through the interviews he's had and the studies. But they brought him in. They were discussing, debating where the bloodline ranks amongst the all-time greatest storylines in professional wrestling.
I mean, the empirical evidence is there that it helped business and kind of helped gotten where they're at now.
All right, see, that's what it is. So the op's already over here. What did it take? Like 5 minutes?
About 5, yeah.
All right, and then we're doing a little business here, setting up the match here at Beach Break or whatever the hell it is. Breakout coming up.
Yeah, they'll have these named Dynamites.
Well, they were just advertising it there. That's why I just can't remember what the hell it was. And it's on the site here. Beach Break. Oh, he's got his hands on the champ up there on the top of the stage. What the hell is Moxley doing? Oh, we got a little standoff. Gonna get that. Ooh. You have a different way to use the chair as a weapon there.
Yeah, but that could so badly go wrong. Like if somebody's gut goes right into that leg. Oof.
Yeah, Claudio, though. I trust him with it, but.
Oh, you see that splat that Leon Slater had the other night at TNA?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, with the splash?
Yeah, like the 450 swanton from like the top of the truss on the Ultimate X.
I've seen it. I heard Ray and Jimmy talking about it. What did you guys have to say about it?
I was like, dude, he ate shit.
That's a good one. Pop there for Lab Rat. Kim Possible. That's a throwback.
Dude, she does look like Kim Possible.
You know, it seems to me, John Moxley likes to come out here and act like he's a boss. But it seems like when we start throwing hands, he acts like a little bitch.
Uh-oh. From boss to bitch. Did I know someone dumping like some Gatorade on Joe, or is he just sweating that much? Jeez, oh, please.
It seems like you don't really want that. But John, you've already made your request. And I say, let's give you and the people what they want. And it's very simple. If I'm gonna fight you for the AEW World Championship, Mox, you cowardly son of a bitch. Let's do it inside the steel cage.
Oh. All right. I didn't think he was going to throw that one out there. I thought they were just going to do like a street fight or something like that. We're going to get the steel cage.
Raising the stakes for Beach Break.
Oh, that's on free TV too.
Yeah, that says beach party like a steel cage, baby.
AEW World Champion. We know that in 2 weeks' time at Dynamite Beach Break, it will be Samoa Joe challenging John Moxley for the AEW World Championship.
And what the hell were we talking about? Oh, we were putting pause over there.
Oh yeah, and that Leon Slater spot. Yeah, like he did it down.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah. Well, that's because Vet was in the chat. I was in the chat, and Ray and them were asking, Vet to just share his opinion. I just said, "Well, go listen to Impact Attack, you a-holes." But since I've got you personally, I'll ask you what you guys thought of it.
It was just like, dude, what the fuck?
There we go. 3 more. 4. There's one in the background. They're all there.
Yep.
Thank you so much for sitting down to talk.
4. So that's 11.
Woo, 11, and we're not even an hour into the show.
In AEW, it's something I kept coming back to was how you were saying that you wanted global missions, right? A global mission, and 1 year later, now I'm a
Oh, we got a run in, pal. We got
Date
Mrs. Darkside. Whoop whoop.
Little date night.
Welcome, welcome. Yeet yeet.
Let's talk the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, the finals, double or nothing, you versus Jamie Hayter. And the winner of that match goes on.
So see who called 12. See, Shooter called 12.
It's going way over 12.
Yeah, it's only going over
We
12.
still got an hour to go. I mean, what belts are left, though?
But let's get real.
The AEW World Title, the Women's Title,
Yeah, well, we know we're going to get that because Tony's coming out later.
and who knows what ROH belts we see.
Yeah, we be some surprises here.
Okay, well, let's
Well, we know we're getting one more. We've got that expected because Tony starts coming out.
She's 11-2. That aside.
Well, anyway, to that spot, though, Ricky Morton laying into that locker room about, how you get to protect your brothers and sisters out there and you're trusting them. And then Moose, did you see that? Moose freaking fired back. He was pissed.
And what am I? Undefeated. So if you want to talk about
Wait, hold on. What happened?
Ricky Morton goes to social media after that big spot at Rebellion, the mid spot, and he's talking about how, that young kid trusted all of his brothers to protect him. They let him down. This isn't what the business is about. Well, Moose fired back. Like, I'm sick of fans and these old timers running their mouth. A mistake was made. He was pissed.
Well, yeah, it was a dangerous spot. Like, how do you catch a guy who's not only jumping from that high of a height, but is also doing multiple rotations with his body? Like, he was a lead missile.
But to me, the only person to blame was the agent. Why was that spot why did we need it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and to Ray's point, he was talking about, hey, it's a pay-per-view. You need something wow. No, you don't need that. We wouldn't have been sitting here talking about Rebellion like, what would have really set that show off is if there was some crazy dive from the platform to the outs. If you're going to do something like that, at least do it into the ring where you got, a way shorter drop. I don't know I would rather hit a little padding in boards than a little padding in concrete.
Yeah, from what, 15, 20 feet up?
Right, yeah, but even if you hit the ring, you've got the fall's not as far.
Right, and plus the ring has a little bit of give to it. You'll get some bounce.
We're not making it sound like it's a trampoline. You're going to bounce right up, but it has a little bit as opposed to just hitting that concrete floor. To me, it was just a stupid spot that maybe the lesson should be don't do those.
Pretty much, but nobody's going to learn. Yeah, we were all shocked Vikingo didn't get hurt.
Yeah, there was some different things in there. Less is more. Hey, the true secret, if you can figure out the way to be the most successful in this business, is to learn how to make money without taking any bumps. And that is what's something that is lost on an entire generation that's supposed to be the future of professional wrestling.
Dude, that's how the Hardy Boys adapted, and why they've managed to keep their careers going so long.
You go back to anyone, and if you would probably go ask Mick Foley if he regretted going off those cages, going through it. Yeah, like if you would have said, "Hey, guess what?" Because he thought, "Hey, this is what's going to make me. I'm going to live on forever."
Check your price saving does not.
Oh, hey, by the way, hey Mick, in like 2 years, you're going to get way more over by using a sock puppet. But any of those guys that did that crazy stuff, they'll tell you they regret it. Who was it? Bobby Eaton with the Alabama Jammer that would the off of the top rope leg drop. Even Hogan regrets using his leg drop for what it did to his spine.
Yep, I remember he said, I wish we would have used a sleeper hold.
Right. Absolutely. Hey, Disco went out there, got over with the character, worked smart matches, and like it or not, for a lot of people, just don't get it. Disco was over because it was different, and he knew how to work it. He was talking about keeping it 100. You go listen to him, man. The guy absolutely knows what he's talking about in this business.
Seems like a no-brainer. There's no risk, so might as well try it. Switch and save with one mobile line included.
And he gets to hang out with a bunch of hot-ass strippers, so I ain't gonna be freaking hating on it, dude.
Right. And when I listen to him talk, I don't hear any malice coming from him. It seems like genuine concern and love for wrestling.
Yeah. But, he wasn't some main eventer. He had a crazy gimmick, so people today just don't get that.
Guys, I'm here with the patriarchy and the Ring of Honor television champion.
That's 12 belts.
Next week, you head over to Japan. The best of the
There was that sneak in, that Ring of Honor belt you were talking about.
Actually, as the patriarch and the leader of this family, I appreciate all questions.
Well, also got a minimum of 13. Hey, Jay Lethal.
Is Mama Wayne that tall, or is she standing on something? Jesus Christ.
I think she's legit that tall. Unless she's got some high-ass heels on.
Well, she's probably rocking some major heels, some boots, but damn, I mean, she's still towering over everybody.
So, how about to prove something?
I mean, Renee turns around a little too quickly. She's going to get a nipple in the eye.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I can see. You can see there. She got them big old sex boots on.
I don't know. I'm not really warmed up, and I'm not prepared to wrestle tonight. I'm kind of just really focused on Best of Super. He accepts.
Hey, see you out there, champ.
You want to be a champion? Get your damn head in the game.
Oh, looks like
Honestly, I think Christian's kind of being, if you really think about what he's doing, he's kind of being the baby face. He's trying to toughen the kid up.
Tough love, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I wonder how that'll be perceived, like the difference, from classic old school parenting to, the coddled kids of today. Is he being, someone going to call like 421 kids and report abuse?
And that's 13.
So 13 belts, and we are not even into the second hour. What's do you guys keep track of the record?
I think it was 21.
What? It was 21 at one point? Because I know it goes all the way back to when Ben was doing watch-alongs.
Yeah, so there's one show where we had like belts from Japan. We had Ring of Honor belts.
Okay. Probably like one of the Forbidden Door shows.
Yeah, we also had like special, like one time off, belts. Like I think it was Owen Hart belts. The scissor belts. I remember in the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, or like they had the trios. And they had the both the ROH and the AEW trios, and then like their own specialty trios along with them. So that was like, so every time they came on, that was 9 right there. Oh, was it like 25? Damn.
Good Lord, man. All right, so right now we're 13 for the night, right?
Yep.
I don't think we're going to get to 25, but still got an hour to go. Well, do you count ones from other, like in it? There was another title that she was wearing.
Only in original, only in original footage. Like this B-roll footage doesn't count.
Okay, okay. I was curious about our parameters here.
Yes, there was. I believe the person who has that belt is Jeff Jarrett.
Yes. All right, open challenge here from the champ.
At least they did a video package to kind of, tell us who this girl is.
Yeah, you are right there. That is a good point here. Usually it'd be a cold thing where have old Supermass try to tell us everything about them because they would just make a 30-second entrance. And we're supposed to just know that because we're all dorks.
Did you hear Brian Alvarez going off on a rant about that, about the AEW marks getting upset about video packages?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, yeah, he was on Keeping It 100 this week, and he went off like, I couldn't disagree with anything he was saying about that.
It sounds like he was making sense on that one. I usually just avoid all that stuff because he partners with Meltzer, right?
Yeah, he's been working with him, but lately he's been disagreeing with him, and vocally. And if you listen, if there's some clips on that have been on Castrated the Marks where Alvarez is clearly screwing with Meltzer or no selling him, and Meltzer has no clue what's going on.
Hey, speaking of out there, I've been trying to get on Castrating the Marks. Nobody will either submit me or nominate me, or they won't put me on. Them sons of bitches. Like Jimmy's like, what do you keep doing? Like, I'm just trying to like say and do crazy shit just to try to get on there. Yeah, because I see a lot of our listeners just complaining that it's pretty much just a crap on that Hollywood girl or whatever.
But the thing is, that's what everybody's submitting. They're all submitting
Right.
Hollywood stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, they're all watching her. She's doing something. You know, she ain't my cup of tea at all, but she's got a niche. She's got a gimmick. Although it did pop me, I did catch Kaz clipped the one where they had her cackling like Roseanne. I probably watched that clip like 50 times and laughed my ass off every time. That was a good one. Once you hear and see them like side by side, like you can't undo that.
No. And apparently, I forgot what show it was. It might have been Patreon the special monthly Patreon Castrating the Marks, where Russo talked about he had a recent conversation with Dave LaGreca, and the whole thing came up with about Hollywood and whatnot. And LaGreca brought up, well, your co-host kind of makes fun of her too, and he brought up the whole Roseanne thing. And Jeff was like, well, yeah, it's kind of but that's a fact. She looks like Roseanne.
Right. Yeah, once you see them side by side, and then that laugh, oh my God. Uh-oh, got that ass stuck. Oh, yeah, give her a little tap. Give her a little love tap there. Warm that up. Give it a kiss first.
Give us a kiss.
Kicking the brown eye.
You know what I think of when I see Luther, and I mean this in the best way possible? Ralphus.
Hey, credit, man. He found a new niche. A lot different than when they brought him in. Found a need of, a spot to fill, and he's thriving, man. Thriving in that spot.
That's
yeah,
a great spot. That's a great spot.
He was an old Jericho favor, right? He was Jericho's buddy.
Yep. And then later on, they paired him with Norman Smiley.
I remember that.
Yeah, they ended up getting fired for failing to bring the hardcore title or beat Terry Funk for the hardcore title and bring it to the New Blood. So they did like a sketch of them doing odd jobs, like they were selling popcorn, washing cars, selling bootleg T-shirts out of the back on the parking lot.
Still to come. We got the in-ring with the Hurt Syndicate and Max. Still got the big Hangman and Fletcher match. Ring of Honor Television Championship. Just the Television Championship or the Pure Championship?
I think television. Let me check.
Oh, it ain't that big of a deal.
Upgrade your phone up to twice a year with Premium Unlimited from Xfinity Mobile. Plus, get a free 5G phone.
Yep, television. Because I think he just beat or went over a Commander.
Yeah, I knew it was just a couple of weeks ago that he won a thing. I just couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Collision 2 weeks ago.
That's one of the funny things about AEW. Like, I've enjoyed watching them. I catch most of them, especially here on Wednesdays. I know Saturdays have been moving around, but I try to catch them when I can. Like, I enjoy watching them, but I there'll be shit like I do not retain. Like 5 minutes later, I'm like, I have no like memory of that happening.
Yeah, that's one of the
small belts.
Throw more belts, more belts, more belts. I got a fever, and the only cure is more belts.
Ooh, what's this new Taco Bell item?
That's actually a pretty sweet deal.
I like some Taco Bell. What's your go-to at Taco Bell? What's the let's go Brandon go-to order at Taco Bell?
Right now I've been going with the double beef burrito and the loaded beefy nachos from the under $3 menu.
Okay. All right.
So basically I'm spending $5 to $6 and I got something that keeps me going on. That'll feed me all night.
Chat, what's your Taco Bell go-to? For the hashtag RBV chat, I do 3 soft tacos, 3 crunchy tacos, and if I'm feeling frisky, Mexican pizza.
That sounds tasty.
You had their breakfast?
I never tried their breakfast.
I have not either, but I've heard good things. I've heard it is pretty good.
There was one thing I used to do back in the day when I was active in wrestling and I was also working out a lot. Was I tried to do like these fast food, big order challenges. Like one time I tried to do, and there were a few I was able to complete. Like I managed to do the taco party pack by myself from Taco Bell. I did the 40-piece McNuggets by myself.
Oh, come on, dude. Those are warm-ups.
The one I couldn't conquer that I wanted to was the crave case from White Castle.
I still owe an on-air to old Scotty Woodford. I'm going to join one of you guys on a show, and I'm just going to eat a crave case while you guys are doing the show. Lamb rackle, there's 3 soft tacos, bean and cheese burritos, the chicken quesadilla. Yeah. Chili cheese burritos were good. I haven't had one of those in a while. Chicken case, those new chicken quesadillas are good too. They have a little spice to them. I got one of those a couple weeks ago. It was part of the DoorDash deal, like spend like 15, get one.
That's cool. They're doing that. Like they have special deals through DoorDash that you can get.
Yeah, because they jack up the damn prices anyway. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, you're paying for a service, I guess.
Yeah, proof kind of the whole theory of the more hoops a product or a service has to go through to get to you, the more expensive it's going to be.
But yeah, like you said, though, there's usually you go hit that deal button. A lot of places will have the buy one, get ones or so-and-so off after spending so much.
Yep, and also the specific apps for those places themselves have pretty good deals in them too.
Oh, you're like if you go out to fast food anymore and you're not trying to use the app, you're crazy anymore.
Yeah, you're paying ridiculous prices.
Which to me, I don't know. It's so stupid. I mean, if you can charge that, just charge it normal. Because I mean, there's a lot of people like my dad's fine with it. He uses the app. Like my mom, she has no idea how to do that stuff. My grandparents, they're lost on it. So they're going out and paying, $4 for a fucking medium fry, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, damn that authentic Mexican food. Guess we got to settle for that.
Well, hold on here, Lamrat. Where are you from? Because are we talking authentic Mexican? Because I know here in the Midwest, You know, a lot of people are confused because we have Tex-Mex. I don't know if that's the same where you're at, Brandon, or if you have like a bigger Hispanic culture presence there. But like, it's difficult to find real authentic Mexican where I'm at. First time I had it, I was with Adam Rivera. We were up at the first All In, and I stayed with him up in East Chicago. We were over to Warrior Wrestling on the Sunday night, and we get out of there. We were messing around doing whatever. And I remember, like, we're driving through East Chicago, and, you know, Adam is Hispanic descent, and like, I started, like, slumping down. I'm like, dude, I haven't seen another white person in, like, 90 minutes, dude. Where the hell are we? We ended up at, like, 3 in the morning at this authentic Mexican place, man. I didn't even know how to order, didn't know what was going on. No one that worked there spoke English.
That sounds about right for Chicago.
Yeah, East Chicago, bro.
East Chicago.
Technically, we were in Indiana, but yeah, East Chicago, real deal, yo. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, because here in Southern Ohio, Cincinnati Tri-State, it's hard to find like authentic Mexican. I like Tex-Mex, nothing wrong with it, but you know, just a lot of people around here think like that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, I'm not really sure on the difference, but
it's all, I mean, the tortillas and you know what the toppings. I mean, your real talk, I think, don't have cheese and stuff on them. All right, so that right, you might put a clarify. So like an actual, like a real taco. I know it's a different tortilla. Like you don't have the crunchy ones; it's a softer one. But is it a flour or corn? I can't remember which one is like the actual. So you pretty much just get like the meat, cilantro. Like you don't have all that other, you know, the tomato, the diced onion, the cheese, the shredded cheese, all that stuff on there.
What is Tony doing?
What happened? Oh, wait a minute. What? Tony who? Which one? Tony Storm?
Tony Storm. Yeah, she's like doing like some weird ass dance to Jamie Hayter's theme. Like, huh?
Who knows what she's doing, man?
Canadian assassin Josh Alexander. They made history. They were the greatest tag team.
The Canadian assassin, no longer the walking weapon. Yes, you do. What's up, Gruss? Good to see you, pal. Whoop, whoop. Dude, you got all the best food in Texas. Quit bragging. Like, you got tacos at Dairy Queen, pal.
All right. I am going to go out on a limb here and say that DQ tacos, they get the DQ when it comes to real, authentic Mexican. They're probably delicious, but...
Oh, yeah, no. Nowhere near in the conversation of authentic Mexican, but... Still, I'd love to try them.
You know, ice cream taco. Those are pretty good. Choco taco.
Yeah, give me a Choco taco, pal.
You know what, man? If Fletcher could thicken up a little bit, dude, that guy could be a beast. Hey, he's just so damn tall and lanky still, even with all that muscle on him.
Yeah, he's got plenty of frame to add mass to.
Need to get whatever the hell Orton's on. Get that for Fletcher.
Dude, they're about the same size as far as height goes.
What, about 6'5", right?
Out of curiosity, I'm gonna look that up.
What do you look at his build weight right now too? I think at the last show, what'd they have him like? Was he plus 300? Like, I know he was at least like 290.
He is 6'3".
Orton's only 6'3".
That's Kyle Fletcher. Sorry.
Oh, Fletcher's only 6'3".
Orton is 6'5".
What they got his build weight listed right there? Yeah, Kyle Fletcher isn't really like it's not intimidating, and it doesn't really have that wow star maker name to it. We could just start calling him the Fletch.
Orton is billed at 275.
I think they announced him bigger than that at Mania, but that's still pretty damn big.
Oh, damn. Shots fired from Lab Rat. Southern Cali firing back at Tex.
Hey, you know what? That might be. I wonder which state would make the claim to have the most authentic Mexican food. I mean, well, obviously, you know, Texas right there was one time they fought for their freedom from Mexico. They do have their own. That's where Tex-Mex came from. So it's a fusion, but they got to have some of those roots. Or is it California? You ever think where most of the immigrants, legal or undocumented, would be heading to California for the sanctuary?
Yeah, that's kind of a tough one. I would have to guess. If I had to guess, I'd have to say Texas.
Lucha Libre Taco Shop. I'm gonna look that up right now.
I don't know. It just seems like there'd be more of that Mexican tradition in Texas. Especially considering at one point it was its own country.
Oh, look, Lucha Libre Taco Shop. There's one in Toledo, Ohio as well. I wonder if they're the same thing.
Looks like you got a place to visit, pal.
Reno Taco Shop, Toledo.
Yo, what's up, Lone Wolf? Good to see you, pal.
Lucha Libre Taco Shop. Here's the one in Mission Hill, San Diego, California. Also one in Pacific Beach, San Diego. Ooh, this place looks cool as hell, man. Decked out wall to wall, lucha style.
I gotta tell you something, man.
They got breakfast, they got lunch, they got dinner.
Here's how much of a wrestling nerd I am. I just caught that Excalibur made an Oklahoma reference. He told Tony Schiavone, talking sound bites, kid.
Oh, that Oklahoma. Hey, that's one of the major rules, man. Old Timmy Baltimore will tell you that. Talking sound bites.
Bob. You have a good car ride in, bud? Let's get to the vote. Let's get to the vote.
All right, let's get to the vote.
We'll try this one more time. Remember our discussion. Thumbs up from MVP.
All right, just like every other week. 2 thumbs up. Got to be unanimous. Not a majority rules. Come on, Bob.
Like the old Midnight Society, pal.
Which way is he gonna go? He's not quite down yet. Oh, the suspense is killing us here. Just like an arm wrestling contest. Over the top, he's coming back. Not quite up. He's gonna need that blue chew to go all the way straight. Whoa. All right, Brandon, what do you think, man? What do you think?
I don't know. That's a good thing.
Uh-oh. MJF not happy here.
Exactly that you want. Almighty, I've given you women, I've helped you win matches, money, cars,
Can we get maybe a swerve here where maybe Max just gets his own partner and comes after the tag team belts? I don't know who that would be. Oh, here we go. You know what? Talking about wearing white shoes, you know what? I would not want to be wearing white pants if Bobby Lashley grabbed me like that. Because, yeah, we're talking Mexican. It'd be El Chito Panto. I don't know how you wear all that white. I got one white shirt I wear, and I'm like terrified every time I wear it.
Lab Rat with a $5 super sticker. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, we don't have the sound effects here. We'll give the what is it? The whatever horn. They blow. Yeah. Is that the horn, or was that a 1990s modem? Are we signing on to AOL there, Brennan? You've got mail.
I like that.
Maybe they are going with us to do. What do you think? Maybe he ends up with his own partner?
Well, what was it? When Bobby said, "You want to impress me? Do you want in? You want my thumbs up? We're the Hurt Business. We hurt people. Go hurt someone."
Interesting. Get off the phone, Mom. I'm trying to watch porno.
Or back in the day, you're online, you're just browsing, you're having a good time, and all of a sudden the phone rings. Fuck.
Yeah. Hey, just think, man. Back in the day, we'd all be over on AOL in the WWE section, in the chat room, talking it up.
Or those old school AOL message boards. Remember those?
Did AOL? Well, I remember getting to the boards, but they weren't AOLs. You could just access them through there. Yeah, because that's where that was the birth of the internet wrestling community, man.
Oh yeah, there was Yahoo Chat.
Yeah, so as long as you had internet, you could access those binary boards. But yeah, there were some awesome wrestling ones, man.
Ooh, how about this for a direction they could go with the Hurt Syndicate? What if, to impress Bobby Lashley, MJF tries to beat the shit out of Bobby Lashley?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that's kind of.
I know, but MJF in his style would try to pay someone probably to do that. I think what Bobby's saying is, go out and do it like a man.
Right. What I'm thinking is, what if he did like again, dirty sneak attack with a weapon, but it still earned Bobby's respect? Like you still had, okay, I told you hurt someone, and you had the balls to try to come after me.
Well, what if I don't throw out a few things? My first thought was just to get some badass tag team wrestling, get some badasses involved. Is if Max goes out and makes amends with Wardlow.
Ooh, I like that because he's kind of been out of the picture.
It's those two teaming up again, reuniting. I mean, you'd have to do some serious storytelling to bring that back around. I met my Canadian girlfriend. Hey, yeah, those chat rooms. I know someone over there. Oh, Labrat saying the WWE had a chat room. They had a whole WWE section on AOL with the different downloads, but they did have the different chats and all that. Little AOL love. Hey, girl. What's your ALS, age, sex, location? Yeah, hit my mailbox up, baby. Or we had talked about, what if he challenges him for a couple of weeks to a tag match with a mystery partner, and it is Cedric Alexander.
That'd be interesting.
The Shadow. All right, I know there's probably a good joke there. What am I missing there? Shadow Realm, is that like a Mortal Kombat reference or?
I think it might be a Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not 100%
No.
sure.
Age, sex, location check.
If you don't know what ASL means, she's too young for you.
Yep. Let's see. I mean, there's probably kids that are watching wrestling now that were either possibly not born or infants when age, sex, location disappeared.
AOL Instant Messenger. That was a vibe.
Yep, the old IMs, baby. Yeah, age, sex, location. 45, male, Cincinnati. Or remember they had the you had the public chats, and you could find everything that was in there. You could do sports, then you get the subtopics. You could do cooking, you could do romance, everything, and then you had the private rooms if you remember those.
Yep.
And then it spawned off into the hit series To Catch a Predator.
For so many years, as you guys know, so he's respected a lot. He's everywhere.
Do you see the one where they cornered? I think it was like some public official who was caught doing that, and then moved in for the arrest. Like this happened on live TV. The dude actually killed himself.
Killed himself on television?
Yeah, like
or
during
like
the
after
raid.
the fact.
No, I think it was like they were actually like conducting a live raid on the dude, trying to coming in to arrest him. Yeah, and I think the dude ended up killing himself.
I mean, I believe that because it seems like something. I'm going to look that up though. Oh, I still got this menu up here from this Lucha Libre taco stand. A little pricey. I guess it's normal prices for California, but damn. Food looks good. Shit, that looks good. All right, now back to my Predator.
I got the Wikipedia pulled up. Bill Conrad, an American local assistant district attorney in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, killed himself on Sunday, November 5th, 2006, when Texas police served him with search and arrest warrants stemming from a Dateline NBC perverted justice online sting of men soliciting sex with children.
Damn. Well, I remember, too, there was that Jenny Jones murder back in the 90s. That was like the Jerry Springer stuff, the talk show stuff, where they had revealed to this dude that he was dating a transvestite. So then when the show was over, he went to the hotel and killed the girl.
Oof.
Gross. Too poor for internet in the 90s and 2000s. Come on, bro. You could have got, I remember at first, though, because you had to pay. Remember when AOL first launched, you had the base package. Well, first it was per minute. And then they went to where you got 250. They had different levels, 250, 500 minutes, and then you had to pay. And then they eventually had I think it at the end was unlimited for $9.99. I think at one point it was $14.99. Then it got down to $9.99, and then you had the boom of just home internet services where we're at now with the open the different browsers and different things.
Yeah, now you mentioned that, I remember okay, we were all allotted our own internet time. All right, you get this many hours this week. You get this many hours this week. You get this many hours this week.
See, I was fortunate enough at the time. I mean, I was kind of like an early kid because my little sister, there's 12 years difference between us. So, when I'm discovering the internet, really on the internet, she wasn't even born at first, and then she was 6 years old, by the time I was a senior in high school.
Oof.
I do remember one time I got in trouble because I lost the family AOL account because I just went a total mark move. It was when China beat Jericho. And like Expletive Riddle just rant on one of those message boards. And they like permanently terminated the account. That's how like vulgar. That's how vulgar I was. Dude, I'm only like, I'm probably like 16, 17 at the time, And so to get it back, the account holder, a parent, had to call and verify and all this. And they started reading the transcript of what I was what I posted. Holy shit. Oh, fuck, I got in so much trouble. All because fucking Jericho did the job to China. I was outraged, damn it. Outraged.
A funny story, though. Apparently, it was how Jericho, was a good soldier about it and bumped and sold and made China look good. That elevated him in management's eyes.
Right. Yeah. Like knowing the story, he was doing, right for, but I didn't understand any of that then, shit. I thought I did. You think you know everything about the business, how it's going to work, and it's just like, fuck, I didn't know anything. And then,
Seems like a no-brainer. There's no recipe, so might as well try it. Switch and save with one mobile line included.
yeah, go to the public places, use the school internet, library, all that before they understood what the hell's going on.
I remember I was in high school when E-Bombs World first became a thing, and they started like restricting. Like when it started getting hot and people were, and the kids were spending more time on that than actually doing their assignments in the library. Like, yeah, kids are like, there'd be times where kids would purposely go to the library just to surf the internet and chill out there. And they caught on to it's like, no, you ain't doing that.
Well, yeah. Let's see, here at mid-40s, first exposure to computers at school was getting to go play Oregon Trail. That hot video game changed the world, man. Oregon Trail.
You have died of dysentery.
You've lost 3 oxen.
Yeah, I didn't play Oregon Trail till probably about 3rd grade. My first like major experience with computers period was like I think like 1st, 2nd grade we had Math Blaster.
Math Blaster. I vaguely remember some of those games, but Oregon Trail is always the one that stands out. Now, my first computer was one of those big box units, where you didn't even have the colored screen. You just had the black screen and the like the yellow cursor and all that. So I had that. What was the games that I had? Oh, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. And it's still a classic. I love this game, Earl Weaver Baseball. But it was like a simulator role play. Like you didn't play the games. Like you got to like pick your stadium on it and say it was more of like a GM mode with all like the legends. Like you had your minor leagues, you tracked all that kind of stuff. You made manager moves, and then it would let you know how the games played out.
That's cool.
Lost the arm, but instead steps over the mighty straw again. Wayne.
And then, all right, we'll see. Were you into this, Brandon? We'll see how many guys gals in the chat. Obviously, when we found the wrestling chat boards, when we knew that WWE had their own thing on AOL, I was big time into fantasy role-play wrestling. Like I ran a couple of my own federations. I had a bunch of characters that I would, get into the games with.
Oh, brother.
I did not get any of that. Did not even know that existed. But
yeah,
me being that young and that creative and that like gung ho at wrestling at the time, I could definitely have seen myself getting involved in that had I known about it.
Man, that's what led to this, man. Tony Khan, he was into it. That's where he was writing his cards, booking his stuff. But yeah, what you did is you just created, your character, tag team, whatever the case might be. And then you would type out in detail your promos. So you have like in a little, brackets, like you describe the setting. Are you at the gym? Are you in the locker room? Or you're poolside? And then you'd go in and you type your guys. So it's pretty much like you're writing like a little play. Dude, I don't
Dude,
you know.
that-
I might have been friends with Tony Khan running a fantasy role play wrestling thing. So then, yeah, if you were a promoter on those, your job was to take all those characters, put together the storylines, and then type out the card. So each week, you would type out your show and email that to everybody.
Hey, what's up, Sign the Head Rat? Good to see you, pal. Whoop whoop.
I remember I had like 2 friends that I was with that also did it with me locally, but we wouldn't even tell anyone else because like that was like beyond the nerdum that we wanted to let anyone know we were involved in that. But I freaking loved it, man. I was like, I ran a promotion. I had that thing going. Like the best one I had ran for like 8 months. But it took a lot to sit down each week and type out a whole card, like a whole show.
Yeah, the simulators that have come out the last 10 years are a lot easier to work with.
Which one of those games did you like? I was an Extreme Warfare Revenge guy.
I never really played any of them, but I watched like a few videos of people playing on. It was the Extreme Warfare ones.
That was one of those things. If I I've thought about I'm sitting in on a weekend and I don't really have anything to do, so I'm going to rain. I'm not going to be at the track. Like downloading that because they got patches where you can do the upgraded rosters. Like I will literally just sit here and do that for like 3 or 4 days. Like I just become obsessed with it. Oh, Mama Wayne I didn't realize how tall she was. She got them big old heels on, but. I did backyard wrestling. We had the most ghetto ring. I live out like in the hillbilly area. So our whole base was bales of hay, and then we would tighten it and lock it down with a tarp over top of it. Then we had steel posts for the ring post, and like thick yellow tow rope was our ring ropes.
Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship, but that's not. Joe said, "Let's put it in the cage." Tony Khan.
That's rough.
Put it in the cage. 2 weeks away.
I was the live wire RBV. I was like a Pillman character.
I do too. I think it's going to be barbaric. It's going to be wild, and we might crown a new world champion in Samoa Joe come Chi-Town.
There was a time we almost got like our own backyard fed off the ground because there's a dude who I worked with and became friends with who was a big wrestling fan. He had a large barn on his property, and he also happened to own a wrestling ring.
Oh shit, man!
Yeah, I'm immediately putting 2 and 2 together.
You got an arena, you got a ring.
But here's the problem: we live in a state where you got to go through a lot of legalities to be able to run a show.
Yeah,
you
but
can't just.
But you were kids, right? Fuck all that,
dude. And there's like a bunch of friends who we all knew that were big time wrestling people. Like, yeah, we can do this together. We can, wrestle and do, like I actually had like a roster of probably about 10 to 15 people, and I somehow managed to write out like over a year's worth of storylines for.
Damn. Yeah, see with ours, like the what we did in high school, like they were shoot fights, and then like everything was a shoot. But we had characters, and we would try to come up with storylines around the shoots. But when you got in there, we just fucking fought. Yeah, because we had one match. My big feud was with the IKB, the Insane Kodiak Bear, a great friend of mine, Cincinnati cop now, but he was a big old boy. He was one of our offensive linemen. I was just a wide receiver, tall, skinny fuck. But I caught him with a sweet chin music and dropped him and pinned him. And that was like one of the biggest upsets. Like, holy shit. And I nailed him, man, right on the button. He was running at me full go. Big old boy. First team, all league, all city. And I hit him right on the button, dude, and dropped his ass. Gross was using the pedigree. Was that backyard or in your role play, Gross? I know we're talking about both here. Now, here's another thing. We're talking about Kyle Fletcher. The potential here. The nickname doesn't even work. Kyle Fletcher, well, you know, besides not being intimidating, no star quality to it.
Well, to be fair, they're
And
actually
this look is doing nothing.
Actually, let me pull up the definition of protostar real quick.
Protostar. Well, it's just a combination of prototype and superstar, right?
No, it's actually a scientific term for like a early stage of a star. Yeah,
I don't know. The way he looks, he should be a freaking power bottom porno star.
Yeah, this is the Google AI definition. A protostar is a young, early stage star that is still accumulating mass from its surrounding molecular cloud. It actually kind of works. He needs to accumulate some mass.
Yeah,
it's
does.
It's the first stage of stellar evolution where gravity causes a cloud of gas and dust to collapse and heat up. Protostars eventually become main sequence stars when they reach the temperature and pressure needed for nuclear fusion.
All right, so we're all learning something here. You've grown your knowledge here, joining us on the watch long. We'll go back. Larry Rat's talking in '97 in English class. Left them alone in the classroom, and all hell broke loose. All bedlam broke loose in the classroom. What grade? I was in elementary school. Oh, 6th grade. We had 2 6th grade classes. And we had organized a 20-person Royal Rumble for recess one day. So the day before, everyone was picking their entry numbers. Everyone was excited. There was all this buzz. Like the teachers could not figure out what the hell we were doing. We pulled it off the next day. We had a Rumble.
How many people got suspended?
None. Before they figured out what's happened, it was over. We just got scolded and told not to do that at school again.
So it's like, okay, they couldn't prove what you did, but they knew you did something wrong and just said, don't do it again.
I mean, we really didn't bring any rules. They just didn't want us, because we use like a sandbox as the ring. So once you went into that area, so it was more like sumo. Once you got thrown outside of that, you were eliminated.
Global statements like that. No, I'll make any statement I want.
Dude, I'm saying, man, you put some mass on him, get him a way better name. I guess now that we know the gimmick, the nickname kind of works.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be a star in the very early stages of his development.
Okay, that makes, you know what? I'll take back some of the stuff I said. That makes a lot of sense. They've done some research there, and now we are educated.
You've been in this business 75 years. You got some better stuff than that, don't you? Lots. All right, bro. Come on, bring it. You're on the mic every week out here. Bring something. Hang in, Pete. You're going to bring it here tonight.
Yeah, I'm still now with this pink.
Yeah, it's.
Well, what is it just supposed to be like irritating, or is he using it to play into something? Like, am I missing? Is he more Metro flamboyant? Is he just overconfident in his manhood? I mean,
Honestly, it
rhymes and reasons for
it. It could be one of those things where it's like, I'm so over, I can come out here wearing this.
I would go with that. When I was going to break in and all that, I was going to wear pink, but use that as an agitator. And I wanted to have T-shirts, real men do it in pink or do it in the pink. And I also had pitched to a couple places to allow me to come in and use the ring name Philip Hertwat. He had the T-shirts on the front would say Philip Hertwat 24/7, and Hertwat 24/7 stood for Real Men Do It in the Pink. Gotta remember, man. I was. This is like right around the Attitude Era, so stuff like that was gonna fly.
Collision coming up live this Saturday night.
Dude, if you would have pitched that to Russo, he would have went with that.
Oh yeah, dude. Right? I mean, that shit was gonna fly back then.
I mean, they had beaver cleavage. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I could have gotten it. Not only would I gotten it over, I would have gotten it off.
Hey-o.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm glad they showed that commercial for the NHL. So I'm going to head on over to ESPN. I want to check some scores here. I know we got Golden State and Houston in basketball right now. I know the Lakers are coming up at 10. They're facing elimination. Some good games last night. Big Rays, New York Knicks get bested by the Pistons to push that series to another game. Let's see here. The Capitals, Washington Capitals up 3-1 over the Canadians. Looks like the Capitals looking to close that one in hockey. That's over on ESPN. Maybe MSG on the controls for that one. I know Collins, boys, hell of a game. I got hooked on that last night. The Jersey Devils and the Carolina Canes double overtime. Hell of a game there for the Lord Stanley Cup.
Big day.
And let's click the NBA here while we're at picture-in-picture. 6:08 in the fourth. The Rockets are leading the Golden State Warriors 112-97. I believe if they can hold on. Oh, Golden State leads that series. Golden State, if they can make a comeback, will close that out. Golden State leads the series 3-1, but Rockets in control of the game 112-97. Timberwolves Lakers tip off at 10 o'clock on TNT.
Congratulations. Here's your first year supply of nitrogen fertilizer. Remember, not too little or too much, or you'll kill your lawn.
Okay.
What follows Dynamite tonight?
Uh-oh. You're good. You can quickly compare
On TBS?
and find the right coverage, even if
Or as far as
Big Bang.
I don't know.
I skipped the line. No application.
Do they usually do? They had that one, the Average Joe show or something like that. I don't know. I tried watching it. It was fucking stupid. We're like the only guy. It's a reality-based competition, but only one person doesn't know it's fake or something.
Oh, I remember there was it was on Spike over 2 decades ago. Like Average Joe or something. Like it was like a real world. It was like a real world type, or like a real world / Survivor type thing, where everybody, including the host, was an actor, and one contestant was the only one who had no idea the whole thing was an act. Everybody's a paid actor.
Oh, well, that sounds like exactly what this thing was. So it looks like they just revived it. Remember Joe's versus Pros back in the day, where they had just average dudes like us take on like pro athletes and shit?
Yep.
I always liked that show. I don't know why it didn't take off better. It was Pros versus Joes. The Pros got the upper billing.
It was not Average Joe. Let me try to see that one.
Yeah, like episode. All right, Pros versus Joes. It was, as we said, it was professional athletes taking on, your average run of the mill, the high school heroes, whatever it might be. Ordinary guys face off against professional athletes. Like episode 1, could you cover Jerry Rice? Episode 2, could you survive getting hit by Bill Romanowski? Could you take a hit from Kevin Green? That would be a fun reboot in wrestling terms. Like just bring in some dudes, play right off. We'll get Hameen one for a face slap. But could you take a spear from Braun Breaker? That could be one episode.
And now we got Gorilla versus 100 Men.
Yeah, dude, that is everywhere, dude. So what's everyone's takes on it? How many people seriously injured, maimed, or killed before they take that gorilla down?
At least 20.
All right, so are there certain rules? Can they just all go at once? Because if you had a wave of 10 to 20, I think you could get that thing down if you had a good game plan.
Yeah, for real. Ooh, that's a good one, Todd. Could you take a lariat from Stan Hansen?
Yeah. Back in the day, I don't know if I want to do that, but yeah, 90% dead. Your head gets lopped off.
Okay, so that show I was thinking of is actually the Joe Schmo Show.
I remember. Okay, now I remember. That sounds exactly like what this was on TBS. Sounds like just like a reboot of it.
Right, yeah. Yep, the series was revived for a 4th season, premiering on TBS in January 2025.
Okay, that's what it was then.
Yes, remember the first season was that premise, and the second season they added a twist where 2 people had no idea what was going on. Then halfway through the season, they revealed to one of them, "Hey, this is an act, but we're going to make you an offer."
Okay.
You can get a or you can, I forgot what it was, but the other half of the deal was you start playing along and be part of the cast to help, mess with the other person, and you get a payday out of it.
Gotcha. What did I miss here? I've been looking at it. I know we've been chatting about everything else, but Fletcher cut that back pretty bad. Lower back, running down into those pink trucks.
Ooh, that's been a bad bump somewhere.
I didn't know if he hit some steps or something.
Or it might have been a bad apron bump too, or could have gotten some rug burn on that apron. Because dude, rug burn on those canvases and aprons is a real thing.
Yes. Is there another segment advertised that we missed, or is this thing going to go for another 10 minutes?
At least another 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, what's the background of these guys? Do they have any combat? I mean, I know a gorilla, it seems.
I'll put it to you this way: if it's 100
badass, but
if it's 100 woke soy boy lefties going after the gorilla over squash.
Oh, the gorilla's going to be getting cheered on that one. Shit. Hey, here in Cincinnati at the zoo, we prove it just takes one dude to take a gorilla down.
Rest in peace, Harambe.
Yeah. One dude took him down. Guns don't kill people. People kill gorillas.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too. They got a little bit of armor to them.
How do we know when this fight's over? Like, do the humans have to kill the gorilla? Is it a 10 count or a 3-pin or, 3 count? Love Island. Dude, I love, as I call it, awesomely bad reality television shows. I love all that stuff. Recently, I was hooked on, I couldn't turn it off. But the Love After Lockup, which, how the hell are these people in jail finding boyfriends and girlfriends, and then they get out, and then they're immediately moving in. These idiots on the outside are asking them to marry them right away. But God damn, it is some awesomely bad television. You cannot pull me away from it.
Jerry Springer would be proud.
Well, nowadays in prison, like, they can get tablets. They have like dating websites that they could like put their profiles on, and average people can go look at them. Kill that gorilla. All right, I'm gonna look this up here. We got to get some.
Oh, there was this video I was watching earlier of this dude who was at a zoo and he had a metal leg, like one of those metal, legs, and he's visiting the zoo with with whoever, and they go to where the gorillas are. I forgot what species of monkey it was, but one of the monkeys sees this leg and starts like freaking out, going and starts howling, like yo, you all got to come see this. And all of a sudden, all of them start coming up, like looking at the dude's leg, like, and they're all like, what?
Hold on, you froze. It might be my end. Might be on mine, but you froze up there. What were you saying, Brennan?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was watching this video like a day or so ago of like there's a dude who went to like a zoo and he was visiting, I forgot what breed of monkeys it was, but visiting them, and they saw his metal leg. And one of the monkeys like sees and starts freaking out and starts howling, like calling for the rest of the monkeys, like, yo, you guys got to come see this. And like all of a sudden you had a bunch of like everybody in the enclosure
Just the whole
starts,
gang.
yeah, they're like looking at this leg and they're like, oh, oh, like they'd never seen that before, and it's like the coolest thing they'd ever seen.
Holy shit. Girls were saying, remember the show Kid Nation? I think that was on Fox. Yeah, I do remember that one. Was it like an old time like town that they put them in, like an old West town or something like that? Sperm races, huh? Yeah. Don't be going to those
sperm race.
Don't be going to those taco shops anymore.
That sounds like a game Vince McMahon plays in the office when the doors are closed.
Yeah, pal. Pronouns. Well, speaking of monkey videos, you see that video where they give that orangutan or something that gun down in the Amazon? He starts shooting everybody.
I have not seen that, but that's funny.
I wonder if it's still out there.
It has more options for pros, homeowners, and anyone looking for the right look at the right price. Your next beautiful space is at
It's been a while since I've seen it floating around. It used to be on YouTube, but I imagine them taking that down. Yeah, here we go. It is an ape with an AK-47. Yeah.
Okay, I just pull up. I have seen this video. Like this dude hands this monkey, hands a chimp an AK, and it's like, oh.
Oh, shit. God, that's good.
I remember seeing this years ago.
Oh shit! If you guys in the chat have not seen it, go to YouTube and just do a search for ape with an AK-47. Oh my god!
Yeah, these dudes think it's like I think it's like
I remember that. I think it only lasted like a season though, but I remember checking that out.
Dude, it's like these dudes hanging out in a camp, like some campground or whatever. And there's this little chimp just hanging out. They have like, hey, let's give him an AK.
Yeah, like, I like the Planet of the Apes, especially the original ones. I've seen most of the new ones, and even the original like 2 and 3 and beyond. Big fan of the original, but I think the whole premise is just stupid to me though. Like, so the apes started taking over a small section of America, North America. Like, why didn't anyone else like stop them? Like send planes over, bomb the shit out of them. And then how did they get to the other parts of the country without them doing something?
Yeah, that is kind of a big hole. Like, why wouldn't the rest of the world step and be like, oh shit, if we don't step in and get involved, we're gonna get fucked too.
Yep, I turned down my volume when I was laughing my ass off. Somehow. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That is kind of a major hole. Like, why wouldn't the rest of the world get involved? And they realize, oh, if we don't jump in and help them stop us, it's gonna screw us too.
Right.
Ooh, damn, pal.
Whoa. Hey, dude, Sonic just trying to get him on that show. Shit. Actually, there was a girl in one of my groups at rehab that actually her cousin, I believe, said was on one of those seasons. Her name was Amber. So we looked her up in the group session. Sure enough, she was on there. That's another thing in the group sessions and all that. Like, get all these. It's usually the younger kids, which is crazy though, because there's people of all ages, all walks. It's real eye opener to see, how addiction and substances can grab anybody out there. But it's a lot of these younger kids, like they're all hooking up in there. Like, you guys are morons. You got all these issues, all these problems, and you're just gonna make it all work.
Yeah. Let's add more to that.
Yeah. Yes, we are going here, man. We were going to open and close with two big-time on-the-clock matches here. A lot on the line here for the finals. We get down to it. This is semifinals, right? Winner be moving on to the finals.
Yep. Whoever wins this goes on to face Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. Double or nothing. And, of course, that means what we were also talking about later. You get that, if you win at double or nothing, you get that big main event spot at the big stadium show.
Which I got to give AEW credit. They've kind of created their own version of the Royal Rumble, but not actually taken the Royal Rumble, which is the only.
Nowhere near as exciting, though.
Agreed, but at least they're trying to, they do something to kind of build to, okay, here's the main challenger for our biggest show of the year.
I get it, yeah. But I think what also takes away from that, if this was just the tournament that you look forward to every year inside of AEW, and I know in the East, New Japan, Japanese wrestling, they got tournaments and tournaments and tournaments. That shit, there's a reason that style of wrestling has never taken off in the West. Reason that AEW struggles with it. Hell, since the Owen Hart tournament's been going on, they've had like two other mini tournaments.
Oh, do you remember the Bound for Glory series?
Yeah, I was not a fan of it. They overcomplicated the shit out of that, right?
Yeah, it was what was it? Like 3 points, like 3 points for a win, for 3 points for a pinfall, 5 points for a submission. No, or 1 point each
1 point for a tie or something.
Yeah, for a tie, like whether it's a double count out or a time limit draw, and minus 10 for a DQ.
Yeah, what the hell, dude? You got to keep like a scorecard with you just to watch a freaking wrestling match.
Yeah, definitely not one of their better ideas.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week, though. NXT having a 25-man battle royal for their next number one contender. I'm a mark for battle royals. What are we still sitting at, 13?
We are at 13.
It looks like, unless we get some kind of major surprise, that should be it then. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to give it away yet because I'm ahead of anybody, but ooh. Those dick kicks might work in the E, but not here, baby. We're all elite. We got crotches of steel and we kick out.
Here's something that I'd like to see a wrestling company start doing. All right, we're seeing too many nut shots in matches. So now going forward, every wrestler is required to wear a cup.
Ben and I were talking about maybe 2 weeks ago. We were joking about like getting us, an athletic supporter as a sponsor. The official dick kick sponsor of WWE.
Feeling down? Blue Chew will bring you back up, pal.
Yeah,
Yeah, what happened to that?
Yeah. We forgot about Brody.
Nowadays, everyone talks, they got something to say. If nothing comes out and they move the lips, it's a bunch of gibberish. Motherfuckers like they forgot about Brody Lee.
All right, Hangman throwing those big haymaker forearms. Is that going to do it? I thought that Dick kick. I almost would have taken it home there and given the win to Fletcher.
Yeah, we've seen Fletcher and Ospreay enough.
Yeah,
Paige and Ospreay is the fresher
it's
match.
more the bigger time match.
And plus, if it was Ospreay and Fletcher again, that finish is a lot more obvious.
Yeah, I guess for this crowd, for the AEW crowd, hell, Hangman and Ospreay could close that show.
Yeah, that could be a main event easily. Especially if Moxley goes over Joe. If you're having Moxley go over Joe at Double or Nothing, then you should have.
Oh, that's not even at Double or Nothing. That's at that beach break.
Oh, beach break. Shit. All right, my bad.
Yeah, see, that's what I was. Yeah, because that's what threw me off because they announced that for beach break. So I'm thinking, all right, what's going to close Double or Nothing? What would be for this audience? What's going to be better than this?
I don't. Yeah, good point. Great point.
And you would think, because I mean, essentially, you got baby versus baby in that match, so you'd think that Mox is going to retain his.
You want to hear some? Here's a theory I got.
Let's hear it.
Because I think that's what they're kind of building to. They've been teasing this. I think what's going to happen is I think it's going to be Hangman who gets it.
Yeah, because Gross is even saying over the chat, Hangman should be winning the title at All in Texas. That's your big moment there.
And I think what's going to happen is I think there's going to be some interference or something's going to happen. Who comes to Hangman's aid? Swerve.
Yeah, I see that. I hate overbooking in moments like that. I just like to see just the throwdown. But you're going to have that with the Death Riders, and now you got that alliance with the Elite and all that. I mean, that thing is going to end up with a.
And plus, they've been telling telling the story like it's been breadcrumbs and little stuff, but they've been showing Swerve and Nana kind of showing remorse and being like, yeah, we were kind of in the wrong and we fucked up when it came to stuff with Hangman.
Well, it's a booking 101, and Ben preaches it because I've asked him, what would it take to take the Ben Hameen character and turn him babyface? And he said, there's only one way to do that. And it's the oldest storytelling is how you bring two sides that absolutely despise, hate to their very core one another, is to bring together a common enemy.
Right.
And the enemy of my enemy is my friend philosophy. And that's how he unites those two.
Yep. And that's exactly what they're doing with the alliance between the Death Riders and the Elite. And then you have this whole, and then putting it against Hangman and Swerve. And you have Swerve kind of like looking back on his actions and realizing, yeah, you know what? I kind of fucked up too. And I did a lot of bad shit.
I like it. I see that's where they're going. Well, I'll tell you who's going to be talking all about it coming up this Saturday, or they do Sunday, because they got to cover it all. They got to wait for Collision. Is over on The Wreckage with your boy, my boy, all of our boy, our favorite, the Vet, the best in the game, dubbed the GOAT by his partner. Also, one hell of a talking head for us here at the HMG, Mr. Jimmy T. They're going to be talking about that this Sunday. All things AEW on The Wreckage. All right, brother, get out of here. Anything else you want to plug? You want me to run through all the shows here real quick for everybody, or?
Yeah, I'll go through what I got going on this week, and and the rest of the night too. So let's see. Tomorrow we got a late start for the Impact live watch along because they're starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central for their live TNA Impact tomorrow night.
A live one tomorrow, huh?
Yes, sir. And then Friday night, we got the HMG SmackDown watch along. Saturday, we got HMG After Dark. If I can find or figure out a way I can watch the Lucha Underground, we're doing that. Doing that Sunday as well. But if we can't find that, it will be Clerks on Saturday, Mallrats on Sunday.
Wow. All right. Little movie night at the watch along. To the chat, thanks for joining us, guys. Again, hey, make sure you're joining back here. You never know who's going to be joining. Let's go, Brandon, for these watch alongs. But hey, you got the locker room series. You got Monday afternoons with Ben and myself. Tuesday night recorded for the Wednesday locker room with BRV, the Bello, and the Strangler, and of course Friday mornings MSG, Ben, and sometimes Pierce. You never know who's going to show up in the Friday locker room. Check out all the locker rooms, all the reviews. I Like It Raw, the Impact Attack, the Smack Attack, Next Level. We have got you covered. In my show, exclusive to the channel here, as I partner up with John Paz, the brilliant John Paz, for the 10 count. Great, listen, 30 minutes, you're in and out, 10 topics, 10 conversations. We're going to sit down tomorrow night and record a special Who Is episode. We're going to do 10 Who Is the Best all time in certain aspects of professional wrestling. So check that out this weekend.
Sounds good, pal. But as far as tonight goes, we're keeping the party going. In probably about 10 minutes, we on twitch.tv/LG Brandon Whoop Whoop, picking up with some Chrono Trigger. So hope to see you there, pal. Get yourself something to eat, get yourself something to drink, take a bathroom break, get a smoke break, whatever it is you need to do. But if it's the end of the night for you, hope you have a great rest of your night. If not, hope to see you over there. Whoop whoop.
I've got fresh sheets coming out of the dryer, baby. That's what I'm doing. Remake the bed, and I'm getting them fresh sheets and a good night of sleep. All right, buddy, if I don't have any, I'm supposed to be at the track Friday, but it is looking like it's going to rain. If not, I'll join you with my notepad to watch a little SmackDown.
Sounds good, pal. If depending on how the schedule goes, we'll see you there.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. I am out.
And we'll catch you guys later. Much love. Yeet, yeet.